Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for tuning in to hear a few pointers on how I became the world's #1 retail salesman, and may I add, in the toughest business in the world. Selling automobiles is tough, but for me it's the easiest thing I think I ever did because I learned my profession. Now I'm going to be talking about a few pointers. You should listen to me, possibly write them down, and live by the rules I'm talking about. First off, I want to tell you that I'm not ATA-NA. Now you're probably wondering, what is ATA-NA? All talk and no action. There's a lot of speakers and a lot of people telling other people, my brothers and sisters, how to do it, and they have never been in the firing line. They're talking through theory. I'm talking through experience. And I tell people this, that if Joe Girard can do it, you can do it. I'm not better than you. I have 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, and 2 ears. But there's one thing I have that I programmed well. That little piece of brain that I honed and honed like you won't believe, to make myself perfect in every way. And I know you can do it. So we're going to talk about a few things that I did in my life that made me hit the top. You can do it. But if you keep saying these words to yourself, if it's to be, it's up to me. Nobody is going to do nothing for you. I'll tell you that right now. Nobody. You're the only person that can do anything you want to do. You are the captain of your ship. So if you want to ask me some questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Okay, we have a first question here. And the first question is, were you ever a born salesman?
No, I wasn't. Salespeople rather, are not born. They are made. Years ago, which I'll talk about in a few moments, where I came from, a very deplorable ghetto. That's the ghetto is where there's no food, no jobs, no money, and holes in your shoes. As Frank Sinatra would say in one of his songs, I did it my way. I stuttered as a kid because of a lot of things that my dad would say to me. He took away my confidence, and I stuttered until the age 35. I went to see a psychologist. Now I'm the type of a person, if something is wrong, I don't wait until it gets worse. I handle it yesterday. I'm organized, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I stopped stuttering, and I wanted to get into the sales game. I bought books by people only that I knew had a track record. I never buy a book unless I know it's been proven that that person did what he's talking about. Now myself, I've been checked and audited by the biggest auditing firm in the world by the name of Deloitte & Touche to make sure that each sale that I made was one at a time. The average salesperson in the world sells about 7 cars a month. I was selling 6 a day. I'm going to give you a few pointers. Whether you're selling or whether you're not selling, you must abide by some of these rules if you want to be healthy, happy, and rich.
What are some of the most important qualities a salesperson should have to be the best?
One of the things is to not pre-qualify. Pre-qualifying. Before you do something, example, before you do something by telling yourself, I don't think I can do it. Well, actually what you're doing, you're selling yourself to lose. Example, played golf with 3 other guys about a month ago, and I'm a people watcher. I learn from smart people, dumb people, and not so smart people. He's about to make a putt shot, and he's pre-qualifying. Example, he says, oh my God, the wind is blowing, it's a bad roll, it's a tough shot. Well, he hits the ball, and the ball goes the other way. Eh? He almost told the ball, don't go in that hole because you're not going to go in there. Or pre-qualifying. I don't think she'll give me a date. I don't think she'll give me a date. You see my face? Now, if you ask her for a date, who wants to go out with anybody that's got a face like that? She's not going to give me a date. Or a baseball player. Or a football player. I don't think we're going to win today. So what you're doing, you're taking away from yourself the positive thoughts that you better have in order to succeed. You must have the power of positive thinking instead of the power of stinking thinking. You know, stinking? To pre-qualify, get rid of it. Everything you look at, everything that you're involved in, and anything you look at, always say to yourself, I can do it. I can do it. He can who thinks he can. She can who thinks she can. If you keep selling yourself, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you know something? If you believe you can do it, 99% you will do it. And another thing to get rid of, and I'm sure you've said it to yourself many times, it's impossible. I don't think I can do it. It's impossible. Well, if you keep saying that, you're pre-qualifying. All you got to do is take the I am out, and what's it say? Possible. So try anything without saying it's impossible, and you will surprise yourself on how many things you could do that you thought you couldn't do. He can who thinks he can. And say to yourself many times, like I do throughout the day, if it's to be, it's up to me.
Thank you. Next question. What is the best way to cultivate good sales techniques before dealing with your customers?
One of the things, if you want to succeed, whether it's in sales or whatever you're involved in, is to be disciplined. And I mean really disciplined. Not wasting time. Because once you have went through a certain amount of time, you can't spend it anymore. You must be so disciplined and have a plan before you leave the house the next day. I have a plan. I work on my plan tonight for tomorrow. Be disciplined. The next thing is to focus. Focus on anything that you want to be involved in. Focus it so bad that you will accomplish it. Example, you want to climb a mountain? Focus at the top. And put a set of blinders on, imaginary blinders, like they put on a racehorse. You know, racehorses have blinders on. And they don't put the blinders on the racehorse to keep the sun out of his eyes. They put the blinders on the horse so the horse has no distractions from the left or to the right. You look straight ahead and you will win if you listen to me. No distractions. Focus. And if you can focus yourself, you just won't believe it.
Thank you. As a speaker now, you have probably inspired many people. Tell me, what is the best way to motivate or inspire others?
To stay away from negative people. You know, the old saying is, if you hang around a garbage can long enough, you will stink. They will pull you down to their level. And even if it's family, I have one person in my family that she is so negative, I stay away from her. I hang around with positive people who can feed Joe Girard, and this is what you should do. Positive thoughts throughout the day. Not reading the paper too much and reading about all the garbage, the killings and the wars and all that is not going to help you. Okay? Positive thoughts make you healthy and happy and successful too.
Tell me, how have your friends and your family played a part in your success?
Well, you know, many years ago, as I grew up in the ghettos of Detroit, Michigan, I had a father. I don't know why he didn't like me. He used to beat me and hit me and tell me that I was no good and that I was a no good bum. And hadn't I had a beautiful mother at the time who would sell me and tell me, don't listen to him. Show him that you can be good. One day she took me to a window and she says, you know, Joey, out there's something for everybody. Go out and find it and show him that he's wrong.
We understand that you come from a very poor environment. What is the one factor that made you want to succeed and break the poverty surroundings?
Just to prove to my father that he was wrong. To show him that I'm going to be the best of anything. I was a builder of homes. I used to build homes. I built homes for 13 years and doing quite well. And not once did my father ever say, I'm proud of you. Never said it to me. In 1963, at age 35, I lost a $3 million building business. And when I did, he says, I told you you're nothing but a bum. I lost my home. I lost everything. I got a job selling cars just to bring home a bag of groceries for my wife and 2 kids. And because I start putting good thoughts into my head, 3 years later, at age 38, in 1966, they named me the #1 salesman in the world because I believed. Because I believed. From anything negative, there's something positive. My father was negative, and I turned it around. And I says, I'm going to show him. You see? If somebody says you can't do it, they're handing you a challenge. They're telling you, I have faith in you. When somebody says you can't do it, turn it around and say, I'm going to show them that they have faith in me and I'm going to do it. Like I said, anything negative, there's something positive.
Tell us, what are the Joe Girard's 4 rules?
When you sleep and somebody rings the telephone, say 3 o'clock in the morning, what do you tell them? This is a heck of a time to call me. I'm sleeping. Call me tomorrow. You don't want to be bothered, do you? All right. How about when you're eating and somebody calls you on the phone and your wife answers the phone? What do you say? Tell them I'll call them later. You don't want to be bothered, do you? How about when you're vacation and you're playing and you want to have fun and somebody wants you to do some work other than your vacation? What do you tell them? Don't bother me while I'm on vacation. Well, now we get down to work. Did you know that people are constantly forgetting that the first 3 things, they don't want to be bothered, and this is what you should tell anybody else who might say to you, hey, let's go play a round of golf, when you should be working. Now, I have a rule. When I'm working, where I work, there was 42 salesmen on a showroom floor. The rule was this. Anybody that ever came up to me that wanted to tell me a joke, or to go play golf, or maybe to go boating, I would tell him, please, don't bother me. Bother somebody else. I had a rule that I never talked to anybody that I worked with. I never ate with anybody I worked with, because I don't want to waste any time. If I couldn't sell you a car, I didn't want to eat with you. I don't want to come to your house, and I don't want you to come to mine. I'm very organized, I'm very focused, and this is what you should do. Now they all used to say, Joe Girard's too big time to eat with us. And I tell them, hey, we shouldn't eat with one another. We can't do nothing but waste time. So who did I eat with? I ate with people who can help Joe Girard's cause. The banker, the guy who okays the credit for the car. Maybe the customer's credit isn't that good. But eating with a banker, he says, go ahead, Joe, you can have it. I ate with the mechanics where I work in the service department. People who can help my customer in service. And this is where I was very good. I used to take the mechanics out once a month and wine them and dine them in a good Italian restaurant. These guys loved me so much they'd kill for me. I used to eat with some of my best customers, people who can send customers to me. But to waste time when I'm working is a big no-no.
I think we have time for one last question, and this is a very interesting question. What is the one thing, or what are the things that you are most proud of?
One of the things that I'm very proud of is the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm the only salesman that's ever been in the Guinness Book of World Records, and I'm very proud of it for one reason. I didn't have to eat 10,000 bananas to get in here. I got in here because I worked. But I put a word in back of work to make it work, and it's called smart work. So there you got it. You can be what you want to be if you want it. If you want it bad enough. And you know something? I'm rooting for you because I love you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.